We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
How you can imagine.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Toys from the Past with YouTube's most hated guinea pig. So on today's Toys from the Past, we are going to be discussing a franchise of figures that has been requested by quite a few people, including Jesse Miller and JJ, aka Sith Lord, from our Retro Discussions Going Old School panel, and that would be the Silverhawks. Now, the Silverhawks action figure collection was produced by Kenner in 1987 on the heels of the animated show produced by Rankin Bass Productions, you know, the same company that made the Thundercats, and they attempted to follow the Thundercats' success with another space-inspired franchise. Now, originally, LGN, the makers of the Thundercats figures, decided to pass on the project at the last minute, and Kenner was partnered with instead, and the toys were produced much like Kenner's highly successful Super Powers collection. Each figure was roughly 4 to 5 inches tall and had an action feature such as squeezing legs to make the arms move, much in the same way that Kenner had done with that Superpowers collection line. And nearly every figure included a bird cyborg-like companion that had an action feature of its own. Now later on, figures included some sort of action accessory. Now, these weren't new characters, but these were just re-released characters, and instead of coming with a bird companion, they would come with an action accessory, and usually this was some sort of weapon. And a special series called the Hero Figures came with vacuum metallized chrome on those figures. And like most other lines, there were various vehicles and beasts designed to actually interact with the figures and were designed in the same manner with various attacks and mechanisms triggered by maybe a button, and they actually included firing projectiles. Now included in the list of figures was Quicksilver with Tallyhawk, Bluegrass with Sideman, Steelheart with Razor, Steel Will with Stronghold, the Copper Kid with Mayday, Stargazer with Sly Bird, Hot Wing with Gyro, Flashback with Backlash, Moonstriker with Tailspin, Condor with Jetstream, Monstar with Sky Shadow the Bat, Hardware with Prowler the Green Dragon, Molecular with Shredder, Mumbo Jumbo with Airshock. And as has happened with so many other series around the same time, once again, Marvel, yes, Marvel Comics also wound up doing a short series of 7 issues for the Silverhawks, which ran from 1987 till 1988. Unfortunately for the Silverhawks, the TV show, which would have helped promote sales, ran only for 65 episodes in 1986, starting in September and ending in December. Now, without the cartoon to help promote this toy line and only a short 7-issue comic book series, this toy line did not stand a chance without those promotional tie-ins. And as a result, this line barely limped into 1988 before being canceled. This was the truest example of an idea with no real substance behind it to push it along. And while the figures themselves were really cool and the animated show was good, without good stories and writers to back it up, it was not going to go anywhere. This has actually happened to quite a few other franchises that had a modicum of success at first and then wound up floundering by the time they crossed that 1-year mark, such as the Sectors did. Now, of course, there always is the possibility that somebody who truly loves this franchise will step up one day and be able to shed new light and new stories into the Silverhawks, thereby breathing life back into this franchise. Whether or not it will happen is still up for debate. And so for the second half of what would be the requested toy lines, I actually didn't have a second requested one, so I am going to be talking about one other toy line that I knew about. Now, this one was released in 1987 and was called Army Ants. Now, Army Ants were originally released in squadrons, which are sets of 3 to 8 figures, set on card-back blister packs, in much the same style as the Muscle and Monster in My Pocket toy lines. These were figures that did not have posability. They did have maybe some attachments like guns or possibly hats that came off or backpacks, but other than that, there was nothing about these things. They were pretty much just little stand-up PVC and plastic style figures. The only thing that made these ones a little bit different some of the other ones, that these were humanoid looking ants in military form. Now, the individual soldiers had various themes, including officers, international soldiers, and aviators, such as flying ants. So the Army Ants came into opposing armies. Now, the orange side was General Pat Ant, and the blue side was General Mac Anther. And there were 5 sets for each opposing army. 4 sets of 3 figures and 1 of 8 per side, which included that team's general. Now, these things were actually more like collectibles than toys, but you could actually play with them much in the way that most kids played with those molded plastic soldiers and cowboy and Indian type of toys from back in the day. Yes, they were already in a pose and you couldn't move them, but you could set them up and pretend that there were battles, much the same way that you would have done with these Army Ant figures. I think with lines like this, such as Monster in My Pocket, Muscle, and the Army Ants, it was more about the collectible aspect of getting all the different figures, really more than it was about actually playing with them. I know my brother in particular had an assload of these damn things. He loved these things, along with a lot of other type of figures just like these. He had tons of them laying around all over the place. And like I said, while not posable or anything like that, they did break the mold in the way of being most definitely unique as compared to most of the other toys that were out at the time. And I just want to go ahead and say this because I just don't think that I say it enough. Now, I know I thank every last one of you for showing up and watching videos every single time that I do a regular video or I'm on a live stream. But I just want to stop and thank every single person that comes by and watches videos. For every single person that comes on a panel with me or allows me to come on a panel with them and to discuss different topics. You don't know how much I truly do appreciate it when it's going in either direction. While you're coming on my channel or I'm going on yours, I do appreciate the time that you spend to be able to listen to me and to be able to hear me out and to be able to show up and give your input as well. I truly do appreciate it. And every single person that goes ahead and leaves those comments in every last one of my videos, or the people that come into the live chats and they actually comment and they share their experiences, I appreciate every single one of you. You are all incredible. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And some special shout outs going out to my boy, JJ, aka Sith Lord, Slasher McSplitter, Angelus Draven, Death by Saber, for coming by this week. Thanks, brah. For people that have been on the show previously, such as Snow Dub, Music and Entertainment, K-Law, Comedy and Horror, Fanzine, Latino Slant, Kai MFS, Shellback TJC the Turtle King, Moira Kitty, Mando Merc, Mad Mardigan, and to all the channels that allow me to come on their streams and talk with them and have some fun as well, such as Justin Proper, Bear, Nerd Fun, Sporking, News Podcast, or should I say Robo Spork, The Real Review 3000, Chris Knight, Echo Base Network, the author Stephen Walton, the Anima King, and Darth Haster, as well as some of the other people that I run into quite often. Maybe I've had a chance to be on their channels. Maybe they had a chance to stop on somebody else that I know, and we've had discussions such as Mr. CCDV, Jedi Bill, Admiral Oliver Franklin, Doom, TWTG Content, and my boy Wes Moody of the West Moody Podcast. The one, the only, Steeg Kenobi. If I missed anybody whose channel I've been on recently, you know what, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to remember them all in a pinch, but you know what? It is appreciated, and thank you. Anyway, guys, do you remember this toy line? Did you have some of these toys? Did you care at all? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, as always, if there's a toy line that you want to hear about, make sure that you leave it in those comments as well. And of course, my friends, I thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I would like to thank everybody who asked about the Silverhawks franchise and the toy line, especially JJ, aka Sith Lord 3827, Jesse Miller of the Crow's Nest, and everybody else that has been on my channel that has asked about the Silverhawks. I could sit here and name you all, but there has been so many of you that I would probably go on for a good 5 minutes naming everybody who asked about this franchise, so I'm just going to mention the last two that asked about it. And of course, as always, if you've enjoyed what you heard and what you've seen, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you've had a good time and you've enjoyed yourself. And maybe you'll check out one of my other videos. And if you like what you've seen and what you heard, that you will consider subscribing to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. And of course, remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't do, what you should or shouldn't say, because your silence gives consent. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.